Right, so hello everybody, this is the part 2 of the interactive rating component challenge, and for this part we're going to be using some SCSS or CSS to style our web page, because as you can see right now it still has no design. So yeah, I'm just going to open up the design over here, and as you can see here, it's a very simple design. So let's get started. So I'm going to open up my VS Code, and in here I'm going to be creating a file called styles.scss. So I'm going to do that now. So since this is an SCSS, we would need a VS Code uh, extensions installed. So that extension is called LiveSAS compiler. So yeah, I'm not gonna show you how to do it. There's like tons of videos online that shows you how to install it. So what I'm going to do now is click this watch SAS over here, which would create the CSS folder, and inside here there's this styles.css and styles.css.map. Now we'll just link that the way we usually do. So below this title, I'm just going to link it real quick. Right, so let me just save, and that should have linked both of them. So to test it out, we can see that there's some margins over here, so we're just going to try and remove that, and if it's removed, then it worked. So yeah, as you can see here, it removed all of the margins, so we know that it's working and we did it right. So now we're actually going to do some actual designing. So tap over, so over here before this star selector, I'm just going to make some SCSS variables. So actually, before I create my variables, I'm going to take a look at my style guide MD over here, and I'm going to go copy all of the colors, and then I'm just going to turn them into valid SCSS variables. So I'll just do that. Right, so now that I've done that, I can basically use this anywhere in my code over here. So the first part we're going to be doing is seeing that this body has a background color. So we're just going to assign a background color to this body element. So let's do that. So yeah, I think the colors are the same, and I think it worked out. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put this main element towards the center. So to do that, we can easily just use display flex on the body, and we can use the justify content and align items property to put it exactly in the center. So let's do that. So as you can see, it's um, horizontally aligned, but it's not vertically aligned, and the reason for that is we need to set the body's height to 100 viewport height, which would mean the entirety of the screen's height, however big that is. So yeah, so now you can see that it's in the dead center. So let's tile first the rating state and the elements inside it, and then we'll get to work on the thank you state. So we'll give the thank you state a display of none for now, so we can focus on the rating state. Alright, so that completely took away the rating state for now, and let's see the design. So as you can see here, the main component looks like it has some sort of background. So yeah, let's get it the background that's that it has right here in the design. So and as you can see here, it is pretty much the same color as it is in the design. So I think that's good enough. And one last thing I'd like to do is give the main the main element a height and a width property equivalent to the max content, just so that the main the main element over here is just the same width and height as the thank you state and the rating state whenever which one of them is there. So alright, so I've done that, and now so let's go from top to bottom with this one. So we're going to style this image first, so we can just target it with we can just give it a class of star image or something like that, and then we can style that class. So I'm going to do that. So for this star dash image, we're going to see how high and how thick it is. So let's see, about 40 pixels horizontally. So since it looks like a square, I think we can give it the same height and width because it does look a little bit like a square. So yeah, there we go. It's gotten bigger. Yeah, I think that's actually a little bit smaller in the design, so I'll just change the height and see what sticks. Alright, so I think I got it. Alright, I think I got the height of the star element, so yeah, I think we're good there. And what's next? Oh, I think I forgot to do something with the... Let's give the hashtag rating state first the display flex, and then we can use the... And then we can say flex direction and set it to column, just so the elements are stacking on top of each other. And then the main reason why we're going to do that is so that we can use justify content and yeah, just the justify content. And yeah, that's why we're going to use that for the justify content, so that we don't have to manually set the margins between each element. So yeah, if that doesn't work, then we'll probably just default back to setting margins for each element. So as you can see here, the this guy is pretty much spans the width of the entire parent element now, and that's when we know that it's working. So now I just have to set the width and height for the rating state. So I'm going to take a quick look at the design and see the width of the rating state. So it's 326, but yeah, we'll just set it to 327 pixels. So right now you can see that it's gotten a lot smaller, and now we just need to set a height for the rating state. So let's see the design, and let's basically do the same thing. So the height is somewhere around 360 pixels. So I'll just undo that and go over here, set the height to 360 pixels. Alright, cool. So it worked properly, but you can see that our content here is way too centered. So what we're going to have to do, actually, since we set it to center, it should be spaced evenly so that each element will have its own area over here. So I'll do that. And as you can see, it worked. It worked, everything's on its own line, but we are missing a little bit of padding for the over here, a little bit of space over here, so we can just give it the padding of about 25 pixels, or horizontal, so 25 pixels, because we are going a little bit off here. So we'll give it a padding inline of 25 pixels, and that should do it. So as you can see now, it's much better, and I think we're missing a little bit of border radius over here. Yeah, so I think we should give that to the main component, so I'll just do that. Alright, cool. So now you can see that there's a border radius now, so it's a lot closer than it was before. So it's, yeah, it's a little bit more styled now. So yeah, I think we're done with this image over here. Or where is, there we go. I think we're done with this image over here. I think we're fine with that. Then the only thing we need to do now is this, how did we do text? So I am just gonna, yeah, in this design it looks like there's a white color, obviously, so we'll set that first. So yeah, it's white color now, and we need to, let's take a look at the font size in the style. Yeah, so the font size is equivalent to about 18 pixels, so probably 1.75 m, I think. Let me see. I'll just open up the calculator and say 1 or 18 divided by 16 to get the rems, and oh, it's 1.125, so I'll just set that. So as you can see now, it's a lot smaller. Okay, yeah, it's a lot smaller now. So but this is for like the mobile size or the mobile design, so yeah. Anyways, I think we're done with that one. I think that's pretty much what we needed to do there, and the only ones that are left is this and the buttons. So let's style this p tag, and it's looks like it has a color that's slightly lighter than the blue that we have here. So let's go look for that color in our variables, and over here I think it's medium gray. So yeah, we're just going to go into the rating state and set the p elements color to the color that's in here. Okay, so that did the trick. Now we can just, and yeah, I think that did the trick. Anyways, yeah, so that pretty much did the trick, and I think there's a little bit of it's a different font size, so vertical is about 12 pixels, so 0.75 I think. But I'll open up the calculator again. And that's too small. Yeah, we'll just delete this because the default one already looked good anyway, so I think we can just delete that. And then for these things, yeah, we can actually just probably text align center the div that's inside in the waiting state, because as you can see here, they're inside the div, so we can just probably get away with selecting the div. Okay, so it worked, but you can see here that there's no actual separation between them. So I think it would just be better if we can just say display flex for this div, and the justify content will be set to space evenly so that they occupy each of their own area, so that we don't have to manually put out the margin for each of these buttons. So yeah, so the space evenly kinda worked. But now we needed to give each of these buttons over here a height and width property, and we also need to make them look like a circle and change the color of the texts inside them. So let's do that by just checking the width and the height, and it looks like it's 40 pixels, 42 pixels. So I just go inside this div, so as you can see here, we got the height and width down. So now we just need to make them look like a circle by giving them a border radius of 50%. So yeah, but as you can see in the design though, it looks like there is no borders in the design, so we'll just move the borders over here and give them the background, and give the buttons the background of this color over here, and then give it the same text color as the one over here. So I'll just do all of that, and yeah. Okay, I think that was, yeah, that I think that wasn't it. That wasn't the color, so I'm just going to go over here and edit colors. and just use this RGB value over here. So 38, 47, 55. Yeah, I think that should do it, and that I think the color is also too light, so I'll just change it to medium gray. And yeah, yeah, so I think that should do it. Nope, I think it's still like too saturated, so we probably need to lower down a little bit more. Go over here, and yeah, that's, I will need to save. Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, I think that's that. So we styled the buttons. Now we just need to style this submit button over here. So yeah, let's do that. Look at the design, and we already see that we already have the height properly down due to the display flex, so we can just really look for the height. So somewhere around 47, 45 pixels. So yeah, we'll give the button a class of submit and then give it a height of 45 pixels. So I'll do that. And I think that didn't change anything. I think, oh, that's because I haven't given it a class yet. Right, so we can see now that we have that class already, and now we just kinda need to give it a background color and maybe a little bit of border radius over here because it looks too sharp. So go over here, it has an orange background color, and we need to give the border radius of about 30 pixels, I think. So as you can see here, we did just that, and the only thing now left to do is to give it a text color of white. So I'll do that. Right, so we're going to give it white text now. So over here, give it a color of white. So $sign. Yeah, there we go. So now we have successfully styled this waiting state, and the only thing left to style now is the thank you state. But I will do that in the next video because this video has already gotten too long. As you can see, it's been 30 minutes, so I'm going to cut this video here, and I'm just going to go and do the styling for the thank you state in the next video.